So this next stretch is for getting more range of motion for reaching behind the back. Obviously, post-surgical or after strains or overuse injuries, these positions of reaching behind the head and then of course reaching behind the back to reach for things or do hygiene are very important for daily tasks. But also you have to be very careful about overstretching into these positions because the rotator cuff muscles, if they're vulnerable at all, you don't want to cause further inflammation and excessive amount of scarring or further micro tears. So for this type of stretch, you may have to start with just trying to extend behind, and if this is okay, of reaching straight behind, then we want to add going behind the back and trying to get the back of our hand kind of palm out behind our body. So a really good stretch after a nice hot shower in the morning. You could say either side, doesn't matter, right or left shoulder, same principle. But if I want to let, say, my right shoulder that's sore, let the hot water hit that at the end of my shower, get that nice and warmed up, and then right as I'm drying off, this is my tool for trying to help gain pain behind the range of motion behind the back. So if I have my hand this far, I can take the towel with my good arm and drop it over and get a hold of it with my hand here. Get a hold of that. And I'm just going to let that just relax. I'm just letting my arm hang right where I could grab it. So it's not really stretching yet. So I'm holding it down low. Now I'm going to use my left arm to pull the towel up until I just feel the first notable tension in that shoulder. So I want to stretch. I don't want to be having pain where I'm holding my breath and feeling sharp stabbing pain. So you have to really move very slow and find where tension is, right? So when I pull my finger back, I feel tension right about there's first tension. Now I can pull that all the way back here and that does not feel good, right? So again, that's pushing myself to a potential injury, especially if I let go and I still feel it for more than about 10 seconds or so after I stop. It should be gone after I stop the stretch. There it is. Now it's gone. That's fair. So you want that very somewhat proportional reaction to your stretch. You don't want it lingering in an unfair level of time. That means you're overdoing it. So your stretches should be no worse when you're done. They don't feel great while you're doing them because they're stretches, right? You should feel the tension, but not that lingering pain that's disproportional. So again, I got my hand by my side, my palm is facing out here. I throw the towel over, get a hold of it with my hand. Then I'm going to pull up to that point where I get a little tension. Then I might just back off 1%. And then if I let this towel hang here, and all I have to do is relax my shoulder and just hold with my fingers on my right hand. And there's my setup for the stretch. Now to get the stretch, remember I pulled up to where I got a little tension, backed off a little bit. Now I'm relaxed. Now I'm going to use this really deep inhale of a breath. And that activates the stretch in my shoulder because I fill it up with air. Pause at the top of my breath, 10 seconds or so. Exhale, relax, let that settle. Then I'm going to take the towel again and pick up where I left off. I was at this position, now I'm going to add a couple more degrees. There's a little stretch there. Back to relaxation. And another deep breath in. That's round 2, and then another third round. So trying to use the inhale and the breath to wind into the stretch most of all. Rather than just cranking myself up and then doing something where I'm really in pain, I should be able to relax, get to the point where I feel a little tension, and then rest, and all I'm doing is holding with my hand on the towel, but this whole area is just completely hanging on the towel, it's relaxed. Then I use the breath to expand my ribs, and that moves my shoulder blade around my ribs, and that creates a little stretch, and that's a much better control of the stretch. And if you hold that breath in and you feel more tension in the shoulder, well, if you hold your breath long enough, you'll feel like, oh, hey, I need that oxygen. Your brain will say, hey, pay attention more to the fact that you're not breathing, and then maybe relax this, and on the exhale, you get that nice release effect. So 3 rounds of that, taking up the tension, back off a degree, use the breath to activate, and then turn off the stretch through the inhale and the exhale. 3 rounds after every shower. As well, if this is something that you're having trouble getting and you're in the clear and it's okay with your doctor and your therapist, then go ahead and implement this every morning as part of your getting ready. You can do that on both sides. And a year down the road, you may find yourself just going to the point where you feel tension. Shake it out, go to the other side. And just do that as part of toweling off your back, and that way you keep that mobility as you age, right? So those are all really good opportunistic things. It's in your hand anyway. You don't have to change your schedule. A very good practical way to work on that internal rotation for the shoulder. All right, good luck with that. I hope that helps.